start button. Hey everyone, welcome to Level Up Together. Today is February 17th, and I will share my screen here. And today's topics are the six best moments, six best times to tap, and then we'll be diving into the healing attitudes, which I find them very, very good. Just reading through them, it's really brings you back to yes, this is what's important. So, with that said, just a little disclosure, this meeting is being recorded. By participating, you're giving me the permission to record you, and it will be shared via the Facebook groups on the Utaptics for people to watch the replays. And if you rewatch or catch up who couldn't join today, I'm a level 4 practitioner. I'm here as your host, and this meeting, everyone's insights, experiences, perspectives, and examples that you can share are important and this way we help each other grow and rise up together to the upper model of the world. So with that said, welcome, and I'm going to stop this share and we can get started. So for me, it's page 114, 114 on the level 1 book on the manual. So whoever would like to read first, you can go ahead and read.
Is it the one with the quote on the bottom?
For me, there's no quote. Do you have the six best tapping moments?
Yeah.
Page
Okay.
114. Yes.
Yeah, I'm just one off page off. I just want to make sure.
Okay.
I'll read too. I just want to.
Sounds good. Torian, go for it.
Okay. Six best tapping moments. Heat of the moment. Whenever feeling bothered by something in the moment, you tap it out. Number two, reflective. When you know you should have tapped it in the heat of the moment and didn't, so designate time to it. Project. Pick a specific person or topic like mother or word fear and clear it out. Exploratory and inoculate. Doing your piece list of all your past experiences and start changing them. Do the art of change on yourself on specific topics or actions. Affirmations. Create a list of affirmations and affirm them while tapping. Conquer. Pick a specific project and your goal is to speak it out, or is to clear it out and make sure friends with it. For example, learn to dance, public speaking, or anything you can move towards and accomplish. And then I have a little quote from Robert at the bottom that says, "Your every thought is an authentic prayer, so keep the prayer closet clean."
I love it. I don't have that in my book. Thank you, Torian. Do you have anything you would like to share, or any examples, or any life experiences or insights?
I feel like they're all like I've definitely done all of them. Like the heat of the moment, definitely when because like I get panic attacks and stuff, and like they're a lot less than now, but like they still happen. And like sometimes I just have to like start tapping myself, and I'm like, I don't even know what I'm tapping on. No idea. Sometimes it comes out, and I'm like, oh, well, that's why you're anxious. Or sometimes I'm like, well, that happened. I can't tell you why, but you're out of it. So I usually call my mom if it's like not late at night. We video chat. And she helps. She taps with me, and it helps. um, and I really like especially with the affirmations too. Like I feel like that's the only way my body because like my mind accepts them, but I feel like I was having some rejection with my body of like some of the like looking in the mirror and saying I love you and stuff. Like it made me want to cry and stuff. And I was like, okay, that's not what we want. So tapping it in and everything, now I can do that. So that's like one of my daily practices, looking myself in the mirror and saying I love you, which is really weird when you're sharing rooms with people, but we're okay.
Thank you. How about you, Anne? Do you have any experiences or any insights on any of those?
Um, yeah, heat of the moment is very helpful. And it's just kind of the modified breaking the trance that if when you think of it, just break the trance. And that's it. Sometimes what I say to myself is just break the trance, and then think of something happy just to uh de-escalate that moment. And the other best tapping moments, really is for me a project when I think to myself, oh, you don't have time right now. Write this down, like get to it. And then you'll forget it. And then I'll think after, like, oh, I should have written that down. But my main thought, my main takeaway is even if I don't remember it right now, or it's not intense or not bothering me, it's in there. It didn't go away. It's somewhere in there. And just to allow myself to find it again.
Yes. Yeah. Because, you know, it's in there, it'll come back. Certainly
Right.
it's not going anywhere. Yeah. So
Yep.
definitely writing it down is a good practice to do because it's, you know, we forget because, you know, we just go from one trance to the other and we forget and then it comes back. Yes.
And it
Yeah.
would be, it's as simple as, and I just need to do this, is like I always have my phone, like other people, having the notes app or whatever, or the reminder list, and using the audio, doing a quick audio note, next thing on the list, just a place to dump it.
Yes, definitely. And a lot of times what I do is also like in my, you know, list of the text, you know, text messages, I just have a text message to myself. So I write down just quick notes
Oh,
like, okay, yes, this. Or like even something, some insights that comes in, or like a quote, you know, I just send it to myself. So if there's something I need to work on, it's right there.
right there.
Yes,
It's great.
definitely. Because that, you know, text app, you know, we use it all day long, you know. So
Right.
it's right there, it's not going anywhere. It's not like, oh, some other app that I stored it in. Yeah,
Right. Yeah, that's
definitely.
great.
Yeah, certainly. Yeah, and affirmation tapping, you know, it's like always like when I'm affirming, I'm tapping or, you know, just finger tapping with it. So I do that a lot. So yeah, definitely. Those are really good. Heat of the moment is definitely the best one for sure.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's difficult because there's people around, you know, and so like in my mind, I might just be like doing mental tapping or whatever. Hmm.
I've trained at least the people in my household to know. They're like, oh, she's tapped and I pissed her off. Or like they know to leave me alone if I'm tapping on my head.
Exactly.
They're like, oh, she needs 5 minutes. Okay, fantastic.
Actually, okay. And then there's we're gonna skip through the code word tapping and all that. That's like more teaching that, you know, as part of Robert's teaching stuff and all that. So we will skip to the uh I'll skip through all this stuff and the healing attitudes I have on page 129. So it should be around there for you guys.
You start forgetting about parts of the book that aren't part of your accountabilities for a while.
Yeah, there's a lot of good stuff and you know, yeah, we read it once, but we didn't do accountability. So
No,
I
I
find
appreciate this. I was just sometimes I'm like, oh, there's pages within those sections because I've done them all.
yeah,
And I'm
there's
like,
some good stuff. I know there's some good stuff for sure. Yes. All right. Would like to read the healing attitudes. I was thinking maybe we can just do like um switch back and forth, like you know, one person can read the one point and then you know, just kind of like do a little
yeah,
what's it called? Yeah,
I'm down
musical
for it.
chairs. Okay. So yeah. Anne, would you like to read the first?
Sure. So this would
Sure.
be number one. We are
Yes,
motivated.
please.
Okay. We are motivated by our internal reactions, which are driven by pain or pleasure.
Yeah. And if you have any insights or anything you'd like to talk about on that.
It brings it back home. I just want to make one note. When I was making notes about this and reading it, I haven't sat and read everything, so I'm glad we're doing that. There's a ton of wisdom in here for
I know.
living life. And again, this is great. We're doing it. But so we're motivated by our internal reactions. It's own your own head. it is that responsibility piece.
Yes, definitely. I like that. Go in your own head. All right. Torian, would you like to read the next one? Or do you have anything you would like to share about this one?
I just thought the whole it's we're driven by pain or pleasure thing is like interesting. Because like those are really the motivating factors for doing about anything.
Exactly. I
Um,
know.
but
Yeah,
yeah.
that takes over, it's just either mostly by pain because, people want to avoid pain. That's
Mhm.
a stronger drive than, those are the two drives. We want to avoid pain and we want to move towards something that gives us pleasure or something that makes us feel good, right? Those are the
Yeah.
two drives. So we want to be clear about, okay, there's this attitude or behavior, are we just trying to avoid pain,
Mhm.
right? Or is it just going towards pleasure more than what's important? So something to keep in mind,
Very true.
think about. Yeah.
All right. Number two, everything we do is motivated by feelings, which also is avoiding pain and resources and everything.
Yes, definitely. Yeah. Um, anything else would like to share, Anne, Torian? Mm.
No, this is true.
It's true, yeah. Okay, number
Hmm.
three, the avoidance of pain or what we don't want is the biggest and the most powerful motivator in our life. And first time I heard it was Tony Robbins. It's like people mostly like, are motivated by like they want to avoid the pain. So it's like there's so much drive behind like, oh, I don't want to feel bad. I don't want to get hurt. I don't want to. So they're, like for example, relationships, they will just one relationship to the other, little bit of pain, it's like they run or, so avoiding pain or what we don't want is the biggest and most powerful motivator in our life.
And
Yeah.
I see an image with that I had seen somewhere, that the avoidance of pain really is, it makes your world smaller. It's the kind of keeps you in the corral. And the image of it was, it said like, this is your life. And then it had a circle way outside and it says, this is your success. Like
Oh
this
my
out
goodness.
here is where you're going to find your true purpose. But here you're going
Mm,
to keep yourself locked in.
exactly. Yeah, we have these beliefs that, this is what I need. This is my little
Mhm.
thing, but so we are like stuck in this like what I so what came to me was like this castle that keeps us safe and our, it's like the safe place. This is I'm gonna live and you know, all that everything I need is in here. So we kind of constrict our life to this small little safe place, but where we'll find our success and ultimate happiness and just the purpose
Mhm.
in life and is conquering the fears that's outside that castle. It's like the forest, but we want to stay safe in the little castle, right? So
Mhm.
we need to get outside this castle, and the world is big, and we don't even know. We're like, oh, this is a little place, I'm safe. So,
And I think one of the big lies, and I don't know if there's like a specific way of addressing it, is that this keeps us safe, but that when you start going outside, that the fear keeps collapsing. That you know what, because now you're building that entire other resource set.
yeah,
So that you're pushing, but adding a resource, pushing, adding a resource, and I think if someone articulated that, even raising children, that this was a
yeah,
good process, this was a healthy process, it's normal, normalize it, but we keep reinforcing our fears.
yeah, totally. And the more it's like the world is getting more and more fearful, you know,
Mm-hmm.
like we read somewhere that back in the say back in the olden days, kids used to go like all over the place, playing,
Mm-hmm.
way out there. They would be playing and everything. And then one bad thing happened, and the parents like, okay, don't go that far, just go to this far. And then it's like short, smaller. Oh no, you can't go to the park by yourself. No. And then it got smaller. Oh no, you cannot go to the neighbor's house, like all by yourself, get smaller. And now, kids are like in their little tiny room playing their video games, and it's like the
Yep.
world is getting smaller and smaller, fear and fear, right?
Yep.
And so it's like we're not going out there and exploring, metaphorically or in
Physically.
reality, right?
Mhm.
Physically, yeah.
Mhm.
So yeah, totally. And the more we just go out there, and those fears are just in our minds,
Mhm.
and we just
Totally.
conquer it. Yeah. So, the more we conquer them, as we tap through our resources, why we have fear, and then we go out there and we conquer those fears, we actually do them. And we know that those fears are not really anything, we can just experience life in a wholesome way, in a fulfilled way.
And one flip that I just saw as you were talking. So if you were doing a rewrite, you collapse a fear, you're doing a rewrite, that even making a model where you said, okay, this was my fear. It was this black box and it had terror in it. I don't know what it was. And I clean out the box and so on. That it becomes a stepping stone. And you keep just adding these stepping stones, one ahead of this, to expand, expand, expand. Something, some type of metaphor that it becomes that very descriptive, but emotional positive.
Yes. I totally love that. As we conquer the fears, they become a stepping stone. And as
I
Robert
feel like
says,
that'd
your
make
biggest, Mhm.
oh sorry. I was like, I
No,
feel like that would
go
make a
ahead.
really, really good children's book.
I know.
Oh,
Absolutely, Torian. Yes, they become the stepping stone. Yeah. Are you an
that
author?
would
Do
be
you
a
write,
great
Torian?
children's book.
I've
Yeah.
had to a couple times first because I'm getting my master's in marketing and it's the easiest way to like prove you can tell a story. I'm like, that'd be interesting.
That would be so interesting. Yes.
I'm like make a little parable of like, oh, okay, a little person scared in their house and conquering the fear, like the whole, and then they make like their little house out of it. I don't know, really simple, but for kids and everything. Because I've been thinking
Yeah.
about that a lot. Because my friend's starting the school where not 100% sure how it works because I'm not in education, but it's basically like it's a bunch of parents doing it because in the state of Arizona you don't have to have a teaching license, which is just weird to me. But if you, it's a bunch of parents getting together with a few teachers and everything. And I was telling her about this program. She's like, "It'd be really cool if we could teach the littles that like now." And I was like, "Yeah, 100%."
Absolutely.
I
That's
did
really cool.
isn't didn't Robert start something some course that he was
There's,
developing?
he has a course, emotional ed. So that's
Okay.
working with children. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yes. Yeah. It
Yeah,
would be
they
really
just
cool to develop these stories for that.
Yeah.
It would be, yes. And then also what I was coming to my mind is like as Robert says, our biggest fears become our biggest healing. So like as we conquer those fears, they become the stepping stones for sure.
Mhm.
Yes. Hey, Sasha.
I am still in bed.
No problem. I'm glad you're here. Okay. All right. Um, and who was, I think Anne, right? Would you like to read the next one?
Yep. Number 4. Fears, angers, stress, emotional traumas, guilt, sadness, rejections, abandonment, and so much more are felt physically and equals stressed reaction, which equals pain.
Hmm. Yeah. Would you like to share anything?
I like the phrase, the body keeps the score.
Mhm. Yes, definitely. Yeah, we feel it right away in our body.
Mm-hmm.
Hey,
Mm-hmm.
Sasha, we are on page 129 in the level 1 manual. And if you would like, you can certainly, like read and you don't have to turn the video on and, we're just kind of reading the points one at a time. So, yeah. The healing attitudes. It might be a different page number in your book, just around there.
It's
Yeah, mine's
131 in
128
mine.
131. Okay.
Yeah.
and 128 in mine.
Okay.
Depends on when you joined.
Right. 129 for me. All right. Torian, would you like to read the next one?
Yeah. Your control or your fears control your behavior and can become your master.
Mm.
That definitely resonates with me. That's actually one of the big reasons my parents got me into this program is because I was so depressed and like wanting to leave, not like I was scared to leave the house at that point. Like I wasn't agoraphobic, like I wasn't scared of the I didn't want to interact with anybody. And it was just because like I was afraid of just what was gonna happen and everything. And then I still don't go out a ton because I don't really like interacting with strangers, but like I go out more. I'm not afraid of it anymore. I just realized I don't like it.
Awesome. Yes. That's so cool. Definitely. Because the fears, then they just control. They become our masters. So that's,
Yeah.
yeah, definitely. Sasha, would you like to read?
Sure. Sorry. Which one do I start with?
Number 6.
Number 6. All right. So, okay. Your body is a mirror of your emotional experiences, beliefs, fears, and attitudes.
Yeah. Would you like to share
Mhm.
anything on that?
I would definitely say so. I had a hell of a year yesterday. I had like massive anxiety and panic attacks yesterday. Like last year. And so I think this year, like I'm a little bit more balanced and settled, but I'm still definitely taking care of what that entailed for my body, right? Like, I mean, there's like different places where I feel a lot of different pains that I didn't have before. And so yeah, I could definitely attest to it from last year.
Yeah, certainly. Definitely. Yeah, I can definitely a lot of times, like what my pattern is, I would like automatically just repress whatever I'm feeling. And so when I do that, I know that it shows up in my body, like, my digestion or pains here and there, so just then I know that, okay, there was something I did not pay attention to. There was something that didn't feel good, didn't feel right, but I put it down, put it away. So the body shows me that there was something we need to work on. So, all right, time to work on it. Okay, what was it that I did not pay attention to, did not allow myself to feel and experience? And sometimes, sometimes even if we are feeling it, because it's just so big, some of it just goes right in the body. And whatever all the emotions we are experiencing, the high hormone levels, because anxiety, we got cortisol going on, we got adrenaline going on, it shows up in the body. Certainly.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
If I can ask about one phenomenon, if this is real or not, if so, some of the things that I've worked on with the practitioners, the level 4s, is saying a pain in my neck I've had for years. There's reasons behind it. I was a musician, had things hanging on my neck, like saxophones and stuff. But what I've noticed every time I've worked through something with someone who knows what they're doing, I will have like an abreaction. So something else will pop up after, or I'll be so tired for the next 2 days. And so is it a phenomenon that I almost feel like my neck was 100 times better for a couple months, and then I worked one more time with a practitioner, and then I felt like a disc kind of was bulging, or a different type of pain. But the thought that went in my head was, this is just your body showing what was buried underneath that. Like it was safe now, and I've taken care of that. It was safe now. It always was there, but it was masked by all the other stuff. I mean, keep peeling back?
Yeah. So just you keep peeling back. That means there was more in there that just came out.
And
Is
that
that
is
what you're
a
saying?
phenomenon that you may have another reaction after a section or a session with a practitioner. And so things may keep popping up in a different fashion.
Yeah, they will keep popping up in different fashions, certainly. And then if there is some more neck pain after the session, it could be one of the two things. It could just be a healing reaction, a healing crisis that, okay, whatever was holding in is coming out.
Okay.
And there might be also, there's something else in there that needs to be heard and listened to.
Okay.
And the pain in the neck is also like when we are being stubborn or we're not looking at all the options around us. We don't want to look,
Mm-hmm.
we get stiff in the neck, we don't want to look. So what are we not looking at? What options do we have in our life?
Mm-hmm.
What are the different directions that are out there, like out in the forest, out in that outer bigger circle that we are not looking at? So there could be something else that, as you did the session, something wanted to come out, but it didn't quite come out. There could
Okay.
be some resources there, and
Okay.
then it just went in the body. So just explore that, write, journal about it, and then, if you can tap on it, or get a session. But yeah, so there's something else perhaps that's inside, and
Okay.
It always works in layers, because there's layers and layers, and that's okay.
Oh, that's good. It always works in layers. All right.
Yeah, it
Thank
definitely
you.
does.
I kind of experienced it too, Anne. It's super weird. Uh, don't love it, but anytime I work through something huge in a session or something and actually make a breakthrough, I have the worst I can only describe it as period cramps for at least an hour after. I
Really?
literally like I know I have to have my like hot pad and everything. And like I mean, we all know where like the
Yeah.
difference between a stomach pain and a period cramp. And literally if I've broken through something big, it's like my body's like pushing it out kind of or something. I don't
Birthing
know.
it or expelling it.
Because
Expelling it.
that's not
Interesting.
That's
yeah,
so
no,
cool.
it's just my body. I know after a session I just need to be prepared because like I want to get through. So like I want to have it breakthrough. So like I'm like okay, you're just gonna have a little bit of period cramps. Fine. You just gotta have your little heat pad, your little squishmallow, and some hot cocoa, and we'll be fine. But it's like I've
Yeah.
noticed that after every time. And then I did a session with I'm she was good, but it was just like it was with someone I hadn't before and I didn't make any breakthroughs and I noticed I didn't get the period cramps. And I was like, huh, strange. Interesting but strange.
That is
Huh.
so interesting. Yes. Yeah. So it's like, when we experience anything in our body, um, just keep telling like, okay, thank you, mind, thank you, brain, for showing me there's something else in here. Just whatever it is, it's okay for me to know it, experience it, for you to reveal it to me, and just let it go. Just maybe perhaps just okay, it's okay to release it. Just like having that releasing um feeling and sensation. Just keep repeating that
Okay.
to release it.
Great.
Yes. Because when we constrict with that pain and that pain gets more constrictive, but just like, okay, thank you, body. Whatever it is, it's okay to reveal it to me and to let it go, to release it, reveal it and release it. And there's a really good book by Stephen Ozanich. Have you read that?
Which one is it?
It's called The Great Pain Deception.
No, I don't have that one.
I highly recommend it. It's a really good book of how all the emotions get stuck in the body And yeah, and his story and just working through it, it's really amazing. So I highly recommend it.
Okay.
Mhm.
I've been
Sorry,
trying to
what's the name
slip
of the
that one
book?
in.
It's called The Great Pain Deception, and the author is Stephen Ozanich, Ozanich. Um, and it's based on Dr. Sarno's work. So Dr. Sarno did a lot of mind body stuff and all the how the all back and neck and all the problems are all related to emotional stuff.
Huh.
And just by talking and journaling and like instead of suppressing and repressing our emotions, it's like just, you know,
Get 'em
okay, it
out.
was in the past. I can release it now. And just working through stuff, you can just release all the pain.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's really good stuff. So yeah, check it out, certainly. All right. Who's next? Number 7.
Can't remember who's next.
I don't know. I guess Torian, you want to read?
Sure, I was like, I just can't remember.
No problem.
To see the body as anything except a means of communication is to limit your understanding of how the mind works. Oh, makes sense.
Before you chapters, I was definitely like, going to from one naturopath to the other, or like trying different vitamins and this diet and that diet. And now it's like, okay, there's something in my mind. It's like, what's going on?
Mhm.
Like, never like anything because there's a habit, right? Oh, I ate this last night. Oh, I had a big milkshake. Oh, I feel like whatever, this and that, but it's like, okay, there's something inside. It's like that habit of like always blaming the outside for what we're
Right.
experiencing inside. Definitely. So always like, okay, there's something inside me. What is it that I'm holding on to? What is it I'm not releasing? Hmm.
Yeah, I watched my mom go through when I was younger because she had cancer when I was younger. But after that, she went to so many naturopaths. It's like so many, like tried so many strange diets. It's the only way to like, explain it. Like as a kid, I was like, "What the heck are you doing?" But like, and then she found this program, and like she can eat basically. I mean, there's some things she still can't eat, but like she can basically eat whatever she wants. And it's been nice to see my mom like eat and not like have to look at the food and be like, "Oh, can I eat this?" It's more of a okay, yeah, I want to eat this. And like
Mhm.
it was just like really like you just hit home with like seeing all the naturopaths and everything. So I was like, you're spending all this money. I don't know. Like as a kid, like you don't say it, but you're like, it's like working. Because she wasn't trying to like lose weight or anything. She's just trying to make her stomach feel better. But I'm like, I think your tummy still hurts. And now like I that just clicked like, oh, she has been like she hasn't been to a naturopath, she hasn't been to a nutritionist in a while because she's feeling good with this program.
Definitely. Exactly. It's really, I think that's one of the biggest things for me too. So for sure. All right. Who's next? Anne, would you like to read the next one?
Sure. Number 8. Our bodies tell the truth even when the conscious mind is unaware of what that truth is. And what you said before, you like we blame the outside versus the inside. And I think getting in the habit of first asking the body or observing the body, saying, "What do you have to tell me?" So own it first before looking to the outside, which
Yes.
is a way of thinking that has to be developed to become automatic.
I love that. Definitely. Always, bodies tell the truth, even when the conscious mind is unaware of what the truth is.
Mhm.
Yeah. And I totally experienced that big time for me because consciously I might not be aware, but my body tells me, and then I know there's something I need to work through and tap through. Certainly.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah, I feel that 100% because ever since I broke my hand, I mean, You saw me through all that. I broke my hand. If I'm like, I feel like when I'm holding on to something, because I'm still in physical therapy and everything, so I'm still trying to get like full movement. But like, if I'm holding on to something, it feels like I can't, I can't go through the next step of physical therapy either. Because like, my hand like starts to like not do as much as like I practice. Like I can't like some days I can't make a fist and I'm like, oh, something's going on. And I'm like, oh,
Definitely.
thank you, body, for being my great indicator.
It
That's how I
is,
try to say.
definitely. Yes. Yeah, I mean, definitely, as I was talking about the Stephen Ozanich and the Dr. Sarno's work, they call it TMS, tension myositis syndrome, or also the mind body syndrome. So it's like, okay, there's this going on. What are you TMSing? Okay, what am I TMSing now? It's about like just putting in our body instead of being consciously aware of. So yeah. And what do you have to tell me? So always asking that question, certainly. And that's so big, certainly. Love it. Sasha, would you like to read the next point?
That's energy, the number 9, right?
Yes.
Okay, cool. It's such a long, I don't know if I can. Energy action follows thought.
Yeah. Would you like to share anything about that?
Well, it's interesting because when I was younger, I had like a lot of social anxiety, and now just I definitely have gone through a lot of different experiences where it's like I'm a lot more comfortable talking to a diverse group of people. Um, but having said that, since last year, having gone through the whole anxiety and the panic attacks and stuff like that, I ended up signing up for something called Time Left. It's an app, and it basically like you put like the stuff that you're interested in, and it kind of randomly pairs you up with different people. And so it's interesting because like last week on Wednesdays, like every Wednesday, like the same day they'll tell you this is the restaurant you're going to meet, and these are the profession, because they don't even tell you who's going to the dinner, but they tell you what everybody kind of does a little bit. And then you go and you meet like these random strangers, right? And you have a conversation for like 2 hours and stuff like that. And so it's like, it was funny because I was like, I wasn't really thinking anything of it per se. And, prior to my anxiety and my panic attacks, that would have been, a little bit edgy, but it wouldn't have really provocated anything. Whereas every time that I put myself into a different situation now, it's like the thoughts that are there are like, am I going to have an anxiety attack? Like, is this going to initiate a panic attack? Like, is my heart going to be throbbing? And am I going to be safe? Right. And so it's like, and so then the energy starts, right? And so when I was there and I was waiting for the time for this dinner to start, it's like my body got like really warm, like really warm. And I'm like, where was this warmth all day? Like I've been freezing, right? But right now it's like it came up. And so it's like I was like this furnace. And it's like I go in there and my heart, and it's like shallow breathing and stuff like that. And I sit down, and after like 30 minutes, again, like, I'm being me and I'm talking and stuff like that. But again, it's like that energy, right? It's like I'm freezing the entire day. I'm thinking I'm going to have an attack. I'm not entirely sure I'm going to be able to regulate my emotions and my body to be safe in this space. And my body, listens. So the energy comes in, and it's like, and I'm a furnace for like 5 minutes. So yeah, so that's what happened.
Right.
What did you say the app was called? That sounds amazing.
The app is called Time Left. Like it's one word.
Time Left?
Yeah, Time Left. So LEFT. So time and then LEFT.
Awesome.
Left.
That's
and
so
I think
cool.
it's like $30 a month and whatnot. But like they pair you up with like random people. So you're supposedly meeting somebody new every Wednesday. And then afterwards they have like an after party. And so I don't know how they pair people up. It kind of seemed that they pair people up by age the last time, but that was like the first time I'd ever been there. So I don't know.
Okay, awesome.
So
Thank
cool.
you. I'm gonna check it out.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, I just want to say good for you to sign
Definitely.
up for something that kind of terrifying.
That's
Good
what
for you.
Well, that's funny
Yay.
because it was like it didn't seem terrifying. It seemed more of like, well, I complain that I don't have friends, but I don't do anything. So might as well try something where it's like we have something in common, or at least this app thinks we have something in common, and the odds are going to be in my favor that I can at least meet two quality people, right? Like it's every Wednesday I'm going to be stuck meeting different people, so I'm thinking it's a numbers game, right? But then
Yep.
somebody was exactly telling me what you're telling me is like I would be terrified, and then that's when I thought about it, and then that's when it went downhill. Anyways,
Oh,
thanks.
Yeah.
well,
I
I
love
don't
it.
know that I would be terrified. I'm just saying good for you for stepping out. You
Thank
know, just doing something, stepping out.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like we were saying, that safe place inside, this is my life, but then the success and is outside in that bigger circle outside, and that stepping out into that forest, because we can stay hidden in that castle because it's safe. But then we tap through that fear, and then we are like, okay, now I have to go and live that and find out what else is out there, and conquering those fears, and they become the stepping stones. So it's
Which sounds
exactly what we were
great.
talking about.
Which sounds great, but I mean, and this was actually something that I'm looking into working with you in private. Would be the whole idea. Okay, so it's great. I have the courage, but not feeling like I'm like. Have you guys ever driven a motorcycle like a Buell or a Harley Davidson? Like those
No.
things, when they stop, it feels like they're breaking apart, right? But they look badass. Like once they get revving up, they look badass on the road. But every time they stop, it feels like they're gonna break themselves apart. And so it would be nice to be badass without feeling like I'm breaking myself apart for the first 30 minutes at the very least.
It's a very good metaphor, Sasha. Certainly.
Thanks.
And on that note, if I can share one thing, when my son, he was in 7th grade and we were in the States. And then my husband took a job here in South Africa. And I thought, well, I've got to tell this prepubescent kid that we're moving halfway across the world away from family and everything that he knows. So I thought, how am I going to tell him this? And it just came out. I said, your world isn't getting, I said, this is so great because you have your friends here and your world, instead of getting smaller, is just going to get bigger. And when we head there, I'm believing you're going to meet your new best friend. He's just waiting for you. We don't know who it is, but think of how big your world will be. And it was it really was the most fantastic decision we ever made. There's not one regret that happened, but that setup made a huge difference for all of us to move forward with that.
And that's
beautiful.
just
I love that.
beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it gives me the chill for sure. Because yeah, definitely. I wish I had those words to say, because my niece, they moved, the whole family, they moved down here from different state, and the kids were having a lot of difficulty settling in, leaving their friends behind and all that stuff, certainly. So I think it's beautiful to say that to a kid and open up the possibilities.
Yep. And and we so 6 years later, our son just he's in Chicago now at university. So here we're in South Africa, he's in Chicago. And something just told me before he left last April, I said, I upped the limit on my credit card. So if at any time you feel you need to jump on a plane and come back home, you can do that. You don't have to call me. No, just get on the plane. Because I thought just for his mental health, and he's not the kind of kid that would even do it. But having that fail safe, even like going out to dinner and meeting new people and knowing that, I have a plan B. It's all okay. That you've played out some scenarios. And then once you've played out some scenarios, I just feel like the pressure's off. because now I have a safety net. I can go.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's not like just chopping the cords. Okay, no, this is it. But you always have a way to go back, and then
Yep.
you feel safe and you'll feel like, okay,
Yep.
I can be free to explore. It's like a great way of raising babies too, They know they're secure, they can always come back to mom, but because mom's paying full attention to them and they can feel secure to go out and explore.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, certainly.
Yeah, my
I
mom
don't,
kind of did something similar because they live right now, they live an hour and a half away, and when I went off to college, they were like, if you need to come home for some reason, you just come home. You If you want to call, that'd be nice, but like you can just show up at any time of the night, any time of day, and we will figure it out. And now she's moving 20 minutes away from me, and I'm like, I'm gonna take you up more on that.
beautiful. I know.
It makes me feel like honestly a little bit more like, and I've been living here for years, but like now that she's moving down here, I feel like a little like less panicked about the world, a little bit more safe on it because I'm like, okay, if something horrible happens or I'm having the worst day of my life, I can go see my mom now. I'm very
That's right.
excited
Yeah,
about that.
definitely. Yes. I think those are very beautiful. I don't know how we got on those topics, but I think it's really beautiful because it's a way of installing or developing the adult mind in the child, like in the
Yep.
children. Like, yeah, you're safe, go explore the
Yep.
world, see what you like, see what's your bigger picture as they get older and older, instead of like, okay, no, you gotta stay safe, you gotta stay like, what, yeah, certainly. So, yeah. And then we just go out and explore, and we know we have a safe haven to come back to. Yeah. All right. Who next? Number 10. I'll read that one. Okay. What you focus on, you get. The good, the bad, and ugly. And so true, right? Whatever, like, even if it's a perceptions, right? It's that those lenses of perception. What we focus on and how we focus on it is what we get again. So it's like if there's a conversation going on, if I'm having a conversation with my husband, right? If I'm focusing on, all the bad stuff that happened from the past, and I can keep focusing on that, I'm gonna see more of that. It's like, oh yeah, here it goes again. It's happening again. Oh, and then the same stuff. It's like, or am I focusing on how talking about stuff, we're connecting deeper, how we are experiencing how the other person feels, where they are at in life, what their, where their life is, so it's like, what are we focusing on? We get over and over again. If I focus on the bad, I'm going to create the bad because I'm going to be in a bad place. So, yeah.
And you can tie that into that you can't change somebody else, but as you change, worry about yourself. And as you change, they magically change.
They do. Exactly. Yeah. So when I change, I'm there with openness and curiosity and uh, more compassion in a more playful way instead of like in a constricted,
Mhm.
scared, whatever. Yeah. So it's like how I show up, how I focus on what I focus on is what I get more.
Yep.
Hey, Sasha, good to see you. Awesome. All right. Um, so let's see. I don't know. Anne, your turn to read.
Am I reading 11?
Sure. Yes.
Oh, okay. The map is not the territory. The menu is not the meal. Our memories are not the real world. They are recorded information from a distorted viewpoint of who we are. From these experiences, we create a view or understanding of the world. It is our own perception which is learned.
Yeah.
I think that goes hand in hand with the reality tunnel. We all have some type of filter or cone that we look through, tunnel, and that shapes how we are. And everybody has their own individual one that come clashing together sometimes.
So true. Yes. Yeah, everyone's map is different, but that doesn't have anything to do with reality.
Right.
Yeah, we're all holding this map. Okay, this is on the reality tunnel.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Anything else? Anyone else like to share? Not, Torian, would you like to read the next one?
Yeah. Everything we say and do is a representation of our view of the world. We do not operate directly from the world, but their perception of it. It kind of reminds me when I was like, I don't know, this wasn't very long for me. Like 10 years ago, I was a little stinky. Hated everything teenager. I was like, the world is horrible. And now I'm like, I mean, there's some events happening that aren't great. It's not like I'm like, I don't know. My perspective isn't like everything's crap. It's more of a like, okay, let's look for the good. Oh, some of that is crap. That's okay. Like you can't get rid of everything, but like it's more of a like checking of like, well, I have a better, lighter perspective, and I feel like I notice more like happy things versus like, oh my God, all these depressing things.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, thank you. It's our perception,
Hmm.
Yeah. And the world is like, the world is still the same, We change our perception and our attitude, our mindset of how we see the world and people around us. Yeah. Sasha, would you like
If
to read? Yeah, go ahead,
Oh,
Anne.
I just wanted to ask you a question. I'm thinking of the word non-judgment. You use the word curiosity and showing up with openness. So, if you had to describe yourself, your journey, would you say that you've had quite like, do you show up now and notice a huge difference of that curiosity, that non-judgment from where you started? Like, how
Yeah,
has that changed for you?
in some areas, yes. In some areas, I'm still working on it, but I can catch myself. It's like, okay, here I go again. Okay, what am I doing here? How am I judging them? How am I holding the same attitude? Okay, and then stepping into the other person. Okay, they're just trying to share. They're just acting from what they learned, like say, my sister-in-law. I'm just talking, for example, right? So she would, the way she sees the world or the way she shows up in a world is very different from my worldview, right? How I grew up. Okay. So it's like, okay, I can let that trigger me, or it's like, what can I learn from her? Oh, she has a very good connective ability, how she connects to people even though, okay, there might be some things that are questionable in my perception, right? But what can I learn from her? I
What
can
can I learn?
learn, yeah, what's the gift they give to me? Because everything that triggers us, we can get triggered by it, or we can take it as an opportunity to expand, like if you're just showing up with this colored glasses, right? A certain colored glasses, right? How can I, okay, expand my worldview? How can I learn the skills that I did not learn growing up? It's just a skill set that she has that I don't, right? And it's not like all that she does is perfect. It's not that all that I do is perfect, but what can I learn? How can I grow? So always that. Um, and then also like we were talking about showing up and out in the public or talking to people. I never used to talk to people ever. And if I had to like show up for a call, I remember like level 1, level 2 showing up for the call. I would be a nervous wreck half an hour before the call starts, when the hybrid course starts, like hyperventilating, drinking water, going to the bathroom. I'd be like this. But now it's like, yeah, I love it. So that's the
That's
big
great.
difference, you know? So
That's
yeah, so some areas are like, I love it. And then some areas I'm growing and so there's always, it's like, okay, how can I grow today? And there's a curiosity about it. Um, and yeah, some areas are triggered and I can justify myself because based on the past, this happened in the past and this
Mhm.
can happen again. But it's like, okay, just start journaling. I say, I start with, like just morning daily journaling and like what's going on inside. What am I making it mean? How am I getting triggered? So it's like, okay, and then as soon as I do one tapping round, usually it's like, okay, God. Okay, and then what's the gift here? What can I learn? And what's my perception here? And how can I change my perception? Just kind of rewrite it to something better so I can step in a better way in the world. So
Thanks.
yeah, you're
Yeah,
welcome.
thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah. And how about you guys' experiences? Like, how do you find it different than compared to before you tactics or before any other healing stuff?
I think for me, one, I'm very recent, so I just started in January. And I was like, all right, I'm gonna do everything I can. But I do notice that before I'm gonna do meetings that terrify me, or situations, where the whole time left and stuff like that, I do tap. And I do feel some relief. I mean, obviously there's still symptoms there and I still feel like a mule, I'm gonna break apart. But it's minimized, like it's starting to be low. I could function, not under the circumstances I would want, but it definitely is a tool that I've been able to use in that moment in time, and it has really just kind of settled me down. Um, so I'm really excited to get that even lower.
Super good job. That's awesome. It's always good to hear stories. Torin, is there anything you would like
Mhm.
to share?
Yeah. Um, it a lot of. I mean, I'm still pretty new in the program too. So I think I just hit my 6 month mark, and I have definitely seen a difference in like how I like go about doing things too. Like before, like I would get like really even these ones, like with the first couple times, I get really nervous. And like I feel like before I would just like I don't know, just find a way out of things instead of like going through them and like figuring it out. Um and like I feel like this program's really helped me. It's really helped me just like not catastrophize everything, I guess is the great word. Not like not everything's gonna be um my world's not gonna end if I go to this meeting sort of situation.
Okay. True. Yes. How about you, Anne?
Um, I come from the original EFT world and never had training, but whatever I learned online or printed off and just kind of did it on myself since what was it, 2008, I think is when I first saw it randomly. And but but I know my brain works very easily with that. And would see quite dramatic results. So there was a period of time that my family went through a fairly horrific experience, and I'm not even going to go into that. Um, but I needed to be on guard because we were under threat. And had I not had a way to diffuse the emotion over a long period of time, I look back now and it really saved me. It saved my mental health. I always say I'm a person of faith. I mean, I'll never. So the combination, but you know what? I had a technique. It wasn't random. It wasn't just hang in there. It was okay. And that's back. the old method. Just tapping, and then it would be the even though setup, but I remember being so grateful over the years that there was a go-to when I couldn't even share stuff with people. So, and I came through it like really happy.
Let's say you put on an ex.
For the most part.
And you being in that place, you help the other people just by being you. You help the rest of the family in
I
grounding
have,
them. Yeah.
yep, I've done a lot. My son doesn't even know, but I've done a lot with my husband and some people around us, and it was enough to I just if I can share one quick story. I had my husband do a session with Quivi here in South Africa, and he was tapping, and she said, "What's your earliest memory of fear?" I don't think he'd mind me sharing this because he hears me tell everybody it. And he said, "School. I was afraid of the teacher." And she said, "Why were you afraid of the teacher?" He said, "Well, when I was 3, my nanny," so he grew up in West Africa. So he said, my nanny, I was left-handed. And if you wrote with your left hand, it was of the devil. I was in the room when he was doing the sessions with Quivi. He asked me to be there. My mind was blown. And all of a sudden, I could see the trajectory of his life. He was a natural artist, and somebody came and told him he was wrong and put him in a box. And that frustration that I've heard him express over the years, I thought, oh my gosh, that's it. It was mind-blowing. Yeah. And he was a different person after the session.
I bet.
Yeah. It's like a huge cloud just lifted off of him.
So amazing. Yeah, that was a big founding memory for him. Mm-hmm. Whole identity. Yes. Yeah, I've heard of a lot of stories of kids who are left-handed and they're forced to be right-handed, and especially being called that it is of the devil, that just puts a stigma on him, not just like it's not the social norm, there's something wrong with you, but there's something really wrong with you,
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. So glad that he was able to work through it. Yeah.
My mom had like a similar experience, and the funny thing is, when I was a baby, she tried to make me left-handed. She was like, "Damn it, I'm proving everybody's wrong." She was like, "I always try to put things in your left hand. You weren't having it," but because she had the same experience when she was growing up, she's like, "I am not." I think it was just like something where she's like, "I'm proving my kid didn't be both." It was just funny.
Right, we just do the opposite with our kids, right? That we get through that. So, but yeah, just like as we heal ourselves, then we want the others to just naturally be who they are, right? Just finding their natural self. All right, ladies, this was really amazing discussion, and we will continue from the point number 12 on because there's so much good stuff here. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
It was too fast. Thank you so much. Bye.
Have a
See
good
you
day.
next week.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.